Hello my friends and welcome to a new video. Today I have something special for you because I'm not doing a tutorial, I am doing a review of the software Luminar 2018 by SKYLUMOFF software, which is a photo editing, or better said photo adjusting software. It's a little bit similar to something like Lightroom or Color Efex Pro, but it goes in a different direction, has a different focus. You can see down here its main focus is to adjust pictures, and if you're in a hurry, here is the short version of my review. It's a really interesting and clean software that is fast to work with and makes it very easy to create your own filters and presets, but it has a little bit of a downside in the sense that it's more focused on something that is Instagram looking and a quick way to adjust images. If you want to go more professional, more into detail and more into real colors, I would suggest rather go with Color Efex Pro, which is formerly known as Nik Color Efex, and costs the same amount of money. And you can see here it goes for really nice and realistic colors, so that's the main difference. Okay, so now let's go into the full review. And by the way, this is not a paid review. They sent me a code for the software, so have a look at it. I do have an affiliate link in my video description, so I get a little bit of financial support for my channel every time you would buy the software or download a trial, so probably use those links, but I'm not playing them any favors and they did not pay me for the video. So it's very important for me, and I'm going to be very honest also, because I'm not just telling you nice things just so you buy the software or download it. Like I said, Color Efex Pro is probably a better deal, has more different options, but this software is nice too, and I want to show you some things that you can do with that are really interesting. So I think the main focus here is to create your own filters or download these filter sets down here, or presets, you could say. So you can see all of these thumbnails here, you don't have any text on them, plus this one which says Arial are included. Then you have a lot of sets that you can download. Some are paid, a lot of them are free. So all of these are free. I didn't look into the paid ones because I didn't want to spend any money on that. But you can see when you click here, it changes down here and gives you a very quick preview of what you're going to get with each of these previews. You can see some look very nice and some are not really fitting, so it really depends. And one thing I found out is that you don't have to stick to these categories. So you can go with portrait and still find something for a landscape like this that you actually want to use with your picture. Here's something with travel. One downside I found with the software is it works really great with these colors. So you can see here we have blues, we have violets, orange, a little bit of yellow in the picture. And this is where this software is really good. If you have a lot of these kind of pictures of the sunset, of the dawn, of mountains, of stuff that is mainly in this kind of color set, the software does a great work, a great job, and presents you with one click with really nice pictures. You can see down here, you can also adjust the amount of the filter, so that is very nice. The downside of the software, and I hope they fix this, I will write a mail to them so they look into that, is with green colors. It doesn't really work great with green colors. So let's open a picture where we have some green colors down here. I especially selected a picture that's not especially good edited, so something like this you would get from your camera. And you can see when I click here, the green colors, they don't really look good, and it's kind of hard to find a preset where they actually look good and the picture looks overall nice. So not good for these kind of pictures, but on the other hand, like I said, if you have other pictures, for example, let's open, we have this nice portrait here with a woman and her horse. And you can see here when we click on the presets, we get some very nice versions with just one click. And down here we have different collections, like for example stunning portraits, and you can click on those and see if you like the effect that they have on your picture. And another nice thing that the software can do, down here you can overlay presets. So you cannot just use one preset, you can use multiple presets on top of each other just by clicking plus. For example, I can click here plus and then select another one. For example, this Expired Tokyo is a really extreme kind of effect. You can see it's kind of destroyed picture effect that you can put over the picture. For example, let's use this over here. And I can reduce that a little bit. And you can see now that we have both of the effects on the same picture. And you can even do layers up here. So in this area up here, you can see I can do multiple layers. 1 second. Add filter, normal, right click, delete layer. Where can I add a layer? Sorry, there, with a plus. I can add an adjustment layer, an image layer, or create stamped layer. Although I have to admit, I don't know what a stamped layer is. I've not tried that. But what you can do, and I want to show you this real quick. 1 second. Let's close this. Let's go to this picture here. And then we go to layers. And I don't think you can do this in Lightroom or Color Effects Pro. So this is something that is unique to this software. It's a very nice quick effect. I can make a second layer. And I can use a blend mode to blend this with the picture below. So when I have overlay or soft light or hard light, you can see you get different effects where you can use the picture as like, how you say, double exposure effect, for example. Let's see if we can use a nice effect on that. For example, this one, or let's see, what is a good effect to use here? 1 second. Arial. I have one that worked really great. I don't find it right now. Let's use this one here. Okay, so you have a double exposure, and what you can even do is with the layer, you have on every filter and on every layer, you have this little symbol here where you can create a brush mask, a gradient mask, a radial mask, or a luminosity mask. So let's use the brush mask, and I can just use the brush to paint on here, and you can see it will just show the areas that I painted in, and I can even show where the mask is happening. So you can use this to paint in the areas. You can see you could use this, for example, to make a really quick and nice looking cover for some, I don't know, podcast or YouTube video, stuff like that. Maybe a love story, stuff like that. And up here you have paint, but you also have erase. So you can just go back on the areas you don't want to have to move back if you painted in too much of that effect. So as you can see, these things are really nice and easy to do with the software. And you can always go down here. I mean, for this, what we created right now is not the perfect use, but you can go down here on Save Filter Preset and create your own preset. So maybe let's do this real quick. Let's open the picture again that we have down here, this one. And when you click on Add Filters over here, you have a huge selection. Well, not huge, but I think it's 45 different filters that you can use. They are selected in categories like Essential, Issue Fixers, Creative, Professional, and Utility. And some of them are really interesting. For example, you have sun rays. And this is nice because this is a dynamic Sunray filter where when I click over here on Place Sun Center, I get this little point and I can move it around. And you will see it will adapt to the picture. So if I move it behind houses, the lower rays are going to be hidden as it would be naturally the case with the sun rays in a picture. So that is very nice. And the software is understanding where the sun should shine or not shine. And then you can still, let's click here on Place Sun Center again, so the point is gone. And now we have all these kind of settings for the rays, but also for the glow radius in the middle, and also for penetration and the randomness of the rays. So for example, what we can do is change the number of rays, and you would have more rays, for example, when you have like a forest or a tree with the branches and the leaves, which interfere more with the sunlight, that would give you more rays. In this case, probably we want to use less rays for our sun. You can also adjust the length of the rays depending on what kind of picture you want to create, and the warmth. And the warmth is nice as you can go from a very warm orange tone down to a rather cool white, a little bit bluish tone like it looks right now. So for this picture we would use some kind of orange. There is the glow radius. You can see it's getting bigger or smaller. For the glow in the middle, we can also set the warmth here to make it more orange. And penetration means how strong the light is. You can see very faint light, but we can go really extreme. This is too extreme for the picture, but we could go something like this and have some kind of extreme morning sun light coming up. And we can also randomize the rays if we are not happy with the rays that we have been given from the software. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things you can do and a lot of effects. And if you click another effect, of course, for example, Orton effect, let's use the Orton effect, and you can see that they are stacked below each other. So here's still our Sunray effect. Here's our Orton effect. You can adjust the amount. You can see makes the picture pretty soft and nice. And have all these kind of different settings here: softness, brightness, contrast, saturation, stuff like that. And you have, of course, also different types. In this case, just 2 different types. Some other filters have more different types. Another thing that's a nice filter, for example, is golden hour, which gives you more of a warm light. So we can use this. You can see the picture is getting more warm the more we use it. Of course, this is much too extreme, but I'm just showing that you can do that. So we can use all of this and then simply save it as a preset. So we can save this like morning sun 01 and click on create, and then go to the categories, and here we have custom categories. You can see down here we have our filter, and it even comes with a preview. Let's click on this other filter. So this stuff is gone that we have created. And here's our other filter. We just created Morning Sun 01. We click on it and it applies everything that we have just done to the picture. Of course, in this case, the sun rays are pretty specific, but you can always go in here, click on Place Sun Center, and just move it around. So you can, of course, edit the stuff that you have created as your own presets without a problem. So that's also kind of a nice feature. So basically, I would say this is the main use of the software. If you like to create your own filters and need some quick fixes for pictures and like this kind of Instagram look that is not focused on being super realistic, but more focused on being fun and kind of stunning, very colorful pictures, then probably this is a good software for you. What are some other things that we should look at the moment? There is something up here. It's called, right now we have a custom workspace. And by the way, this is also an interesting feature. Let's go back to the different filters we have, for example, the basic categories, and we click on something. And you will see over here, it always changes, and it's just showing the filters that you're actually using in that preset. And this is kind of a nice feature, because in some other softwares where you have this kind of adjustment surface, they are showing you all the filters they have all the time, and it's getting really confusing. And you can see here with 45 filters, it would be a long list to go through and check if there has been any adjustment to them or not. But here you don't have to do that, because it's just selecting for you the filters that actually have been used, so you be more focused and faster in your work. And this is always also a workspace. This is why it says here custom workspace. So when you click on workspace, you have also different from the presets down here. You have pre-selected workspaces. For example, professional, quick and awesome, essential, aerial photography, all that kind of stuff. And let's click on professional. And this gives you a pre-selection of filters that are most likely to be used in a professional kind of circumstance, you know. So you have some classic stuff here that you would use, like curves, for example. You have advanced contrast, remove color cast is very important, dehaze, stuff like that, that you would use in that kind of occasion. But the nice thing, of course, is you can see down here, you can save a new workspace. So you can create your own workspaces for what you want to do. And this is what makes the software nice, in the sense that you can adjust it to what you want to do. So you can create your own presets, you can create your own workspaces, and have a pretty fast workflow to get the results that you want to work with. And another thing that's nice, and we have seen this before in our expired Tokyo pictures, you can see here there are some crazy overlays onto the pictures. And this might be too extreme, but what I want to point out here is that you can, of course, use textures in the picture to, you can see here, texture overlay. And texture overlay means you can use any kind of picture you want to load in here. So, for example, different kind of grunge maps, effects, color gradients, stuff like that, that you have as a JPEG or PNG on your computer. You can just load it in here and use it as an effect, as a texture overlay on your picture. You can see here, I can adjust the amount, of course, and I can zoom it in and out. Of course, if I zoom it in too much, doesn't really make sense, but I can zoom out. So if I have a higher resolution, I can use it in different ways. So that's a pretty nice thing to have. So basically, these are the strong sides. Like I said, the downsides, let's talk a little bit more about the downsides right now. What I didn't really like is that it's not really good with green colors. So that's not especially the strong side of the software. And another thing that I don't like about the software is that you can only ever use one picture at a time. It does have batch editing, which is nice. So if you have a photo series, you can create a preset and then just run this preset as a batch through all the pictures of the same kind. So for example, if you have taken 10 or 15 or 30 photos of this sunset situation, which all have kind of the same settings, you can run your preset over all of them. But the problem is you can't compare them in real time, the different shots with the effects, to see how they would work out like you would be able to do in Lightroom. So this is not really what the software is planned for, maybe. And so that's not especially the best kind of thing. And another thing that I don't like, another downside, it's not that important, but it kind of bugs me a little bit, is when I move these adjustment levers here, it's putting the picture into a low resolution preview, which makes it faster, I give it that, but the problem is the low resolution preview looks different than when I lift my finger from the mouse and it renders the full picture. You can see down here with the details. I'm not sure actually if you can see it. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Whoops. Okay, that wasn't what I wanted to do. 1 second. So look down here at these different stones and you can see now they are sharp. And when I move it, they are getting unsharp. They're getting blurred because it's a lower resolution for the preview. And then if I lift my finger from the mouse, it's image processing. It says down here, image processing is rendering it, and then it's showing me the final effect. And this is often not the same thing. So I have to go back and forth between lifting my mouse and clicking and moving the lever. So this could be done a little bit better. But maybe this is also up to my computer, which is not the newest edition, so to say. It's a little bit older, so maybe if you have a faster computer, the preview is rendered in a higher resolution. I can't really tell, I'm sorry. By the way, another thing that's important, like I said, I have affiliate links down in the video description, and there is also a, what is it? I think a €10 or $10 off code, so you get the software cheaper if you want to buy it. And if you want to use the trial to test it out for yourself, also use the affiliate link because it gives my channel a little bit of support, some sense. It's not really important, but maybe it's a good idea. Okay, so this was the review. By the way, If you want to see more about the software, they sent me a key. It's open-ended, so I can keep the software. And if you want to see more things about it, maybe some tips and tricks, some more stuff, or go deeper into these different filters that you have here, please write that in the comments. And of course, I would be happy to provide some tutorials for this. Of course, my channel is mainly about Affinity Photo, but looking into some other software tools is nice too once in a while. Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos and tutorials, maybe subscribe to my channel. I do 2 tutorials per week. And if you want to support me even more, head over to Patreon, where you get my Affinity files with all the layers. You get feedback for your own work, and you can just suggest to me topics for future episodes. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next episode. Bye!